Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Kiki.
Today we're looking at part 3 of our story, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And in part 2, we met some strange characters in the story who have interesting names that are pretty clever names, actually.
That's right. But I wonder, where did all these names come from?
Okay, so we met the Hatter and the March Hare. So both of these names come from expressions that mean someone is crazy. So we learned later they're both mad, and there's an expression that someone could say, he's as mad as a hatter, or she's as mad as a March Hare. So a hatter is someone who makes hats. And the things used to make the hats were not good for a person's body. They didn't know this at the time, but these would make people sick after making hats for a long time, and that sickness would make them seem a bit crazy. So that's why you'd say someone's as mad as a hatter.
Wow.
And then they'd also say mad as a March Hare because March was the time of year, or is the time of year, when hares become a little crazy because it's their mating season. So they get a little bit crazier around March.
Okay, so it only makes sense that in the story, the Mad Hatter and the Mad March Hare, they're having a mad tea party. Well, another character that we met is, of course, the Cheshire Cat. And there is a saying when you say, he is grinning like a Cheshire Cat. It's basically when you are describing someone with a very big smile, but they look a little sneaky, or they look like they're a troublemaker.
Look like they're up to something.
Yes, they're up to no good, especially because the Cheshire Cat in the story, he just appears and disappears, so you never know when he's going to be there.
That's right.
So it's interesting to see that so many of the characters in the story all come from interesting sayings at the time.
All right, well, I think we're going to meet some more interesting characters now as we get into part 3 of our story.
Now Alice is the right size and passes through the door to the garden. Alice meets the Queen of Hearts. She isn't nice and always yells, "Off with his head!" Soon Alice is watching a trial. Someone stole the Queen's tarts, and the Queen wants the person's head. Alice finds it very silly and speaks up. That makes the Queen angry.
Welcome to part 3 of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Okay, so we've seen Alice. She's met some very interesting characters. What other interesting adventure is she going to get into?
Well, let's find out. Now, Alice is the right size and passes through the door to the garden. Okay, so now she can go to the garden. Now that she's gone through this other door and back to where she was before, she can pass through to the beautiful garden. Alice meets the Queen of Hearts.
Oh, I wonder if the Queen is nice.
I don't know, but you know, Queen of Hearts is one of the cards that you'd have in a deck of playing cards.
And hearts is one of the suits or one of the symbols on the cards. And of course, a queen is the female ruler of a place, okay? So usually we will think of a king, the king of the royal family, but the queen can sometimes be the wife or the female ruler. And in this case, here in Wonderland, the Queen of Hearts, she is the ruler.
Yes.
Okay, so is she nice? We'll find out. Nope, she isn't nice and always yells, "Off with his head!" That is a very scary queen.
Right, because, well, off with his head means they're going to take someone's head off and I guess end their life. So the queen always yells this. So to yell is to speak in a very loud voice. So it's not even like speaking, it's just saying something very loudly is to yell. So if you are in trouble, you might need to yell for help. Or if someone is angry at you, they might yell at you. And that's not fun at all, especially not if they're yelling off with your head. Okay. So getting back to our article, soon Alice is watching a trial. Someone stole the queen's tarts, and the queen wants the person's head.
Oh, that's really scary.
Someone stole the Queen of Hearts tarts.
Okay, so this leads to a trial. Basically, what a trial is when something does something bad or is accused of doing something bad, they will go in front of a person or a judge that will decide whether or not something is true or not true based on arguments or evidence, and that is what a trial is. A trial can also be going through a series of tests, but in this case, we are trying to find out, or the Queen of Hearts is trying to find out if this person that stole her tart is going to...
Okay. Well, so the person stole her tart. So stole is the past tense of the verb to steal. And to steal means to take something that doesn't belong to you or that isn't yours. So if someone took my eraser without asking, I might say, she stole my eraser.
No, I want to keep my head. And in the story, the Queen of Hearts, her tart has been stolen. What a tart is, it's basically a type of dessert that is made with a pastry crust or just a normal pie crust, and it's open-faced. And usually there's a filling, strawberry tart, lemon tart, or custard tart.
Right, basically it's a little pie that you can eat for one person.
Yes.
So you don't want to say you ate a whole pie by yourself, but it's fine to eat a tart by yourself.
Well.
All right, continuing with the story, Alice finds it very silly and speaks up. That makes the queen angry.
Wow, Alice, she is a really brave girl. She really likes to challenge things, you know, go through this adventure, go through doors and speak up to the angry queen.
Right, the queen that's threatening people's lives. So to speak up means to say openly what you are thinking. So in this case, she thinks that this whole trial about tarts and off with people's head, it's silly. So she speaks up. So basically she tells the queen and the other people there that this is silly. Why are you doing it? It doesn't make sense. And sometimes when you speak up to someone who is in a more powerful position, it might make them angry. So sometimes if you speak up to your teacher might get angry at you. In this case, the queen is very angry.
Well, is Alice right? Is it silly to make someone go through a trial for stealing their tart and ask for their head?
Depends how delicious the tart was.
Well, let's take a break and we will find out.
The queen orders her soldiers to attack. Before they reach Alice, she's back at the river's edge. It was all a dream, and Alice will never forget her adventures in Wonderland.
Welcome back. Before the break, Alice is watching a trial where somebody has stolen the Queen of Hearts' tart and she wants their head.
Right, the queen is known for yelling off with his head. And, you know, Alice thinks that this trial and this situation is silly. So she speaks up and she tells them that this is silly, stop it. And that makes the queen very angry.
So what does the queen do? Well, the queen orders her soldiers to attack.
Uh-oh, doesn't sound good. Okay, so these are soldiers. Soldiers are, or a soldier is a person who is in an army or a member of a military service. So often a country will have an army and it needs people to serve in that army, and those people are soldiers. And usually they're not the highest ranking people, they're the people that actually go into the fights and fight the battles. In this case, they're going to fight Alice.
Right, a little girl. So when the queen asks her soldiers to attack, basically all the soldiers have to listen to the queen, and what they have to do is fight Alice. Attack is the when you are fighting an opposition, okay, or the opposite side, and you are usually using weapons, or you really want to hurt the other side so that they will fall, and then your side, you will win, right? And you can also attack a person by physically hurting them. So animals, they will attack, or predators will attack their prey to catch them and eat them.
All right, let's get back to our story. Before they reach Alice, she's back at the river's edge. Okay, so they didn't get to her. They were about to get to her, but they never got all the way to Alice. It was all a dream, and Alice will never forget her adventures in Wonderland.
Wait. So she's running from the soldiers and she ends up back at the river where she saw?
Suddenly woke up. So she was sleeping the whole time, sleeping next to the river, I guess.
Oh, well, it was all just a dream. Well, what an interesting story. Matt, would you say that you learned something from this story?
I think I did, and I think I learned that you should never fall asleep next to the edge of a river.
Because you can get really weird dreams.
Yes.
Well, I think throughout the story, I learned that Alice is a really brave girl. She's courageous because she goes through this rabbit hole and she just picks up the first thing she sees and she eats it. And she speaks up for herself and others.
Yeah, but her bravery got her into a lot of trouble, I'd say.
Well, I don't know. At least she tried. At least she, okay, I know. She learned how to talk to different people.
Okay, so she met some mad people. And she met this queen, this powerful queen.
And a very sneaky cat.
Cheshire cat.
Yeah.
So she learned to interact with different people from different backgrounds that are from a totally different land or world than she's from.
Well, whatever the lesson is, this story is a classic children's novel that I hope everyone can get a chance to read on your own time.
Right, because Alice will never forget her adventures, and we'll never forget her adventures either because they're so exciting and interesting. That's all for today. See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Now Alice is the right size and passes through the door to the garden. Alice meets the Queen of Hearts. She isn't nice and always yells, "Off with his head!" Soon Alice is watching a trial. Someone stole the Queen's tarts, and the Queen wants the person's head. Alice finds it very silly and speaks up. That makes the Queen angry. The Queen orders her soldiers to attack. Before they reach Alice, she's back at the river's edge. It was all a dream, and Alice will never forget her adventures in Wonderland.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 queen 名词，皇后、女王。 The queen greeted the people with a smile. 女王微笑着向人民打招呼。下一个单字 yell, yell, 动词吼叫、叫喊。John yelled for help when he saw the fire. John 看到火灾时大喊救命。下一个单字 steal, steal, 动词偷窃。它的三态是 steal, stole, stolen. Kelly stole some candy from the store. Kelly 从商店偷了一些糖果。下一个单字 soldier, soldier, 名词军人、士兵。The soldier followed orders without question. 那名士兵毫不犹豫地服从命令。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 pass through 穿越。pass 在这里是动词，意思是经过、穿过。through 是一个介系词，意思是通过。我们来看看这个例句。We had to pass through the tunnel to reach the other side. 我们必须穿越隧道才能到达另一边。下一个文法 speak up 大声说出，公开表态。这个短语的后面可以加上 for 来接对象，表示为某人发声。Speak 的三态是 speak, spoke, spoken。我们来看看这个例句。You should always speak up when something isn't right. 当事情不对劲时，你应该勇敢发声。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，我们下一课再见喽，拜拜。
The Sanyi Wood Sculpture Museum has won awards for its unique architecture. Today, let's take a closer look at the architecture of the museum itself to see what makes it so impressive. When arriving at Sanyi Wood Sculpture Museum, you will notice several large wood sculpture pieces in the outdoor area. The museum has huge windows and walls. The architect who designed the building says that the most beautiful aspect of architecture is when it works with nature and emotion. The exhibition hall on the second floor is 13 meters high. Sunlight comes through the skylight and reaches every corner. The museum often invites famous local wood sculptors to show their works of art. Through these events, the museum can gain cultural asset preservation, cultural art promotion, artifacts research, as well as offer activities for the public. For people who enjoy wood sculpting or would like to learn more about this form of art, Sanyi Wood Sculpture Museum is the perfect place. It's so fascinating how architects are able to design such beautiful and magnificent structures. Next time you visit the Sanyi Wood Sculpture Museum, make sure to pay attention to the spectacular architecture.